Today we're going to do the chakra activation meditation. We'll give it another minute or two before we start. So I'm not feeling 100%, um, but I did want to come on. My head's clear enough, and I'm on enough medication that I can we can do this. We can get through this meditation. I'm glad you're all here, and we will do a meditation for sure. So let's just go ahead and begin. I hope everyone's enjoying their holidays and maybe hopefully slowing down a little bit and taking some time to reflect and making some personal changes. I know these 2 weeks between, really the whole time between Thanksgiving and New Year's is a time to do some personal reflection, to reconnect with family, to reestablish your own values, your own principles, to really become clear about what you stand for, and then live that with the people around you and the people that you love, and maybe the people that for some of you that you haven't gotten along with, and maybe this is a time to reconnect and just you be different and you present a different wavelength this year. So before we get into, we're going to do the chakra activation meditation. It's a 10-minute, 11-minute meditation. I'm going to play the recording, but before we do that, I want to share with you, let's just focus a little bit on the breath. And I want to share with you call them 3 different breaths or 3 different breathing techniques. So if you're in a spot where you're comfortable, and then the third breathing technique that we go over we'll apply that one to the chakra activation. But I want you to feel, again, as hopefully we do every Friday, I want you to connect with the diaphragm. The diaphragm is that flat muscle. When you exhale, the diaphragm is relaxed. When you inhale, the diaphragm flattens out, leaving more room for air to come into the lungs. We talked a couple of times ago about the real importance of connecting with your diaphragm and doing diaphragmatic breathing. So let's just take a few minutes and let's connect to the diaphragm. And I want to do 2 different breaths, 3 different breaths. The first 2 relate to the diaphragm. So first of all, if you're in a spot where you can close your eyes, do so. Just relax, release any tension that you're holding. The holidays are supposed to be the times when you're not tense and you're relaxed. So hopefully you're nice and relaxed, not holding a lot of tension. And if you're in a spot where you can close your eyes, do that. And I want you to reverse your awareness to inside your own being. And this is called inner sight. And this is really, when you're on your own, this is how you should be beginning all of your meditation sessions. And you don't have to have your eyes closed, by the way, to activate your inner sight. That's something you can play around with. But once you get that awareness on the inside, then sink it like a rock in the ocean, deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper inside you. And I want you to find your diaphragm. That is your flat. There are so many exciting things. There's a lot of interesting things and important things about your diaphragm. And I want to expand on that at some point. But the diaphragm, there are actually several pumps in your body, but there's 2 main pumps. We all think we just have one pump, which is the heart, which circulates the blood. And that is obviously an important part. If that stops working, you can't live for more than a couple of minutes without the blood circulating, without the oxygen, the chi and the prana circulating through the system. Now that's one pump, really important. But the other pump is the diaphragm. And interesting fact, the diaphragm, at the top of the diaphragm, there's something called the central tendon. It's like a really thick tendon. And it's just so interesting that and that central tendon is also the pericardial sac, the sac that surrounds your heart. And they're actually connected at the diaphragm. The bottom of the pericardial sac is connected to the diaphragm. So each time you breathe, you're creating like a swoosh, like a vacuum in the heart chamber, and the heart kind of does a little half turn. And then when you breathe out, the heart relaxes and goes back in. So each time you breathe using your diaphragm, you're actually creating a natural vacuum in the heart. And so the heart and the diaphragm are very, very much connected. But we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on breathing and how we take air into the system. So I want you to just find your diaphragm. I want you to feel when you inhale, feel how it flattens out. That central tendon in the diaphragm pushes down. And I want you to also feel that the diaphragm is connected in a circle. It's connected in the front to the sternum. In the rear, it's connected to several of the lower lumbar vertebrae. So you can actually feel as your diaphragm expands, you can actually feel your back relax, your spine push away. The diaphragm is also connected to the lower point of the ribs. So they'll find your lowest rib, that point, that kind of like floating point where your ribs end in a floating point. That's also where your diaphragm is connected. So as you breathe in, that diaphragm is flattening, but I also want you to expand it like a frisbee, make it round like a frisbee. And again, this is just play around with this. Do this for a few minutes every day. Easiest thing in the world. You can do this while you're driving. You can do this while you're watching TV. You can do this while you can be doing anything, right? So just learn to connect with your diaphragm and start to find those connection points in your diaphragm and just familiarize yourself with it over a period of days, weeks, months. Just start to breathe diaphragmatically every day. Just do that now. And as that diaphragm expands, I want you to push it out kind of like a frisbee and then let it relax. And then it comes back in and it relaxes underneath the ribs. It pushes all the air out. And then when you expand it again, when you push that central tendon down, the air rushes into the lungs. I want you now to breathe in without breathing in through your nose. Just breathe in by flattening and stretching that diaphragm out into a frisbee. Do it really slow so the air comes in really slowly, and do that for 3 or 4 breaths. And try to extend the breath so that you really fully expand the diaphragm and fully turn it into a circle or a discus or a frisbee inside. And watch how you can keep going and going and going and going and going. And more air comes into your lungs. So I want you to max out the diaphragmatic breath for 3 breaths. Now, this next 3 breaths, you're going to max out the diaphragmatic extension. You're going to push the diaphragm down and out. Not push it, but I'll just allow it to go down and out, extend. See if you can grip the edge of the diaphragm muscles against the sternum, the spine, the ribs that they're attached to. Get a full diaphragmatic inhale. And then when you're finished, then we're going to open the mouth and start to focus on pulling the ribs apart. So you're going to get a full diaphragmatic breath, then add to it through the mouth by pulling the ribs apart. And these muscles between your ribs, these thin, flat muscles, are called your intercostals. And I want you to connect with the intercostals. So we're going to do 3 full deep breaths, full diaphragm. And when you're very finished with that, then allow the rib cage to expand. So do 3 full breaths like that. And when they exhale, I want you to compress the ribs and compress the diaphragm to get every last ounce of air out of your lungs. On the exhale, push the ribs together, allow the diaphragm to contract, push all the air out. Diaphragmatic inhale, and then the second, when you're finished with that, then do a mouth inhale with the ribs, pulling the intercostals apart. The beauty of working on your breath is if you screw it up, there's another one coming right behind it. You don't have to worry about it. It doesn't matter how many incorrect breaths you take, make the next one the correct breath. Last time, diaphragm and rib expansion. Now, for those of you that are familiar with the Wim Hof method, this is exactly what it is. It's a full diaphragmatic expansion, a chest pulling your chest away, allowing the lungs to expand, and then doing a forced exhale, and then doing a full diaphragmatic chest inhale, full exhale. When you do this 3 or 4 times, it purifies the air, and what happens is all the carbon dioxide leaves your system, and according to Wim Hof, and I think this is too aggressive for me personally, so I don't go there. I've gone there once or twice, but I don't follow him, because then after you've done this 4 or 5, he does it for 30 breaths, you'll I, like, feel like passing out, but it's the same thing. Diaphragmatic expansion, rib expansion, quick forced exhale, complete exhale. When you do this for about a 30, 40 seconds, what happens is there's no more carbon dioxide left in your bloodstream. And so the theory is, and which is where it's too aggressive for me, you don't have to breathe in anymore. Too aggressive for me. I feel like I just even doing those 3, it makes me, well, I have a cold, makes me want to feel like I'm going to pass out. So it's too aggressive for me personally, but I did want to let you know this is exactly what it is. Full diaphragmatic circle, pull the ribs apart, and then a quick, fast, total, total compression to get every last ounce of carbon dioxide out. He doesn't pause at the top. I like to pause for 5 or 10 seconds to hold the breath in, to give the heart 4 or 5 heartbeats to get that oxygenated blood out into the system. And it's the same. I've never done the second part. So I've taught you, we've gone through 2 breathing techniques. Free, do them anytime, while you're driving, while you're watching TV. Right now, after we X out of the, do it anytime, before you go to sleep, while you're in bed. Full diaphragmatic expansion, that's 1 breath, and you want to learn this muscle, you want to kind of connect with it, all the endpoints, and you want to try to relax all the other muscles and just find that flat diaphragm and all the little connection points. And then exhale, again, flat. That's 1 breath, is a full diaphragmatic breath. The second is a full diaphragmatic breath, followed by a rib expansion, by your expanding your intercostals and pulling your ribs. See, your lungs are just hanging there by the trachea. They're passive. There are no muscles associated with the lungs or the trachea or any of the bronchial tubes, no muscles whatsoever. So the only way air gets in is when the diaphragm and the ribs pull away, and that allows the lungs to expand. That creates negative pressure, which is filled by air coming into the lungs. So that's 2 breaths, full diaphragmatic breath, and then a full diaphragmatic breath followed by a rib expansion breath. And the third breath, interestingly enough, which is the one we're going to do on this meditation, the chakra activation meditation, the third breath really doesn't focus on the diaphragm. The third breath is the breath where you, as you breathe in, we're imagining a ball of light, or it could be, and I don't know if you remember, like in high school, they had those big test tubes, and you could put like a styrofoam ball in the test tube, and as you pour water in, the ball goes up and up and up and up. And then you had a little thing at the bottom, you could open it and water comes out and the ball goes down, 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 down. So it's a vertical breath. The other one is a circular breath and a pulling away. This one, as you breathe in, we're imagining a ball of light at the base of the spine, and we're imagining that the breath is pushing this ball of light up through the central channel as high as you want, outside your body if you want, to your light chakra. That's what we'll do in the meditation. And then coming back down. So it's not a diaphragmatic breath. You can start it with your diaphragm, but the point isn't a full diaphragmatic expansion. The point is a visualization. You're visualizing this ball of light in the central channel. If you remember, like at the carnival, you hit the bing, you hit the hammer, and the thing goes up. That's what's happening here. Your air is coming into your lungs, and you're rising and falling the energy. As the air comes into your lungs, you're rising this ball of light, cleaning the central channel. And then as you exhale, the ball of light is falling. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do this chakra activation meditation. It's 10 minutes and 40 seconds. So let's just go ahead and do that. And then any thoughts or questions on the back end. Welcome to the chakra activation meditation. Let's start by just taking a breath. Relax. Close your eyes. And again, notice how your attention and your focus projects outward. Reverse that awareness to inside your body. Use your inner sight. It would be much more accurate to refer to yourself as an energetic being rather than a physical being, because the physical matter, the atoms, all they're doing is wrapping themselves around your energetic structure. That's what holds your body in place. And throughout your body and around your body is a beautiful, healthy, energetic flow. And the anchor of this energetic flow is your central channel. The central channel runs through your spinal chakras. Now, some traditions say you have 3 chakras, 5, 7, 10, 12, but for the sake of argument, let's go with the most common number. You have 7 chakras, starting with your root chakra, rising to your sacral chakra, then the solar plexus chakra. Notice, before you even get to your belly button, you have 3 chakras. Then there's the heart chakra, the throat, the third eye, and the crown chakra, which is half inside your head and half outside. Then there's an 8th chakra that's called the light chakra, about 12 to 15 inches above your head. From these 7 central chakras flow all of the 72,000 energy channels that run through and around your body. Now, Tibetan Buddhists say you have 72,000 channels. If you study with a Vedic yogi, you'll have 350,000 energy channels. But regardless of the number, every single one of these energy channels flows from the source of these central chakras. And if any of your chakras are obstructed, it diminishes the flow of energy to other parts of your body. So your job is to clear the central channel,
keep the chakras flowing, and keep the entire energy system flowing and clear. We're not going to go deep into the study of chakras today, but our purpose instead is to activate those chakras, to wake them up, to tickle them, and promote a healthy energetic flow. Take a few relaxed diaphragmatic breaths. Use your inner sight to observe your breathing. Now, imagine a ball of gentle white light at your root chakra. And as you inhale and the air begins to fill into your lungs, imagine that light rising along your central channel, rising, gently tickling each chakra as it rises. Chakra is a Sanskrit word. It literally means spinning wheel. So each chakra is like a gentle spinning wheel. And as the light rises, it gently spins each chakra, bringing it to balance and health. With each breath, rise the light through the spinal chakras, from the root to the sacral chakra, to the solar plexus, to the heart, the third eye chakra, the crown chakra, and over the head to the light chakra. And hold your breath gently at the top, maybe 2 heartbeats, and then allow the light to descend back down through the crown and slowly back down to the root. And hold that exhale for 2 little heartbeats, and then gently breathe in again. And each rise and fall of the light massages, tickles, spins, and energizes the chakras. This will remove all obstructions from your central channel. Rise and fall the light 9 times. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do that. I'll do 9 breaths myself. And I'll be back with a more advanced technique for the last 3 breaths. And remember, if your attention wanders during this meditation, reverse the light and maintain focus on the rising and falling light through your central channel. Great work. Now, you're going to do a total of 12 breaths in the morning, and again, 12 breaths like this at night. But for the last 3, we're going to add a vibration. Now, I'm going to use the word Om, not for any spiritual meaning, but because it creates a vibration. Here's what I mean. I want you to imagine that your central channel is like a guitar string, from root to crown. And when you say Om, it's like plucking that guitar string and it vibrates the whole central channel from top to bottom. I'm going to give you 2 vibrational patterns you can work with. So This will be breath 10, 11, and 12. So inhale slowly. Hold it at the top for 2 heartbeats. Om. Again, but this time I'm going to give you a new pattern. Inhale, rise the light up, hold it at the top for 2 heartbeats. Om, Om, Om. You feel that vibration in the central channel? Now back to 1 vibration. Inhale. See the light rise up through the central channel, massaging, tickling, energizing as it goes up. Hold at the top for 1 or 2 heartbeats. Om. That's it. Open your eyes, and I want you to maintain that gentle breathing pattern and notice the softness in your central channel. Notice that all obstructions are cleared. Energy is flowing up and down without obstruction through your central channel, and every energy channel in and around your body is lit up with energy and flow and light. By waking up your chakras, you're establishing energetic awareness and you're creating a soft, easy flow of energy, not only in your central channel, but throughout and around your body. Practice this powerful meditation every morning and every night, and you're going to be amazed at the newfound energy and vitality.
That's a pretty important meditation. So congratulations for showing up and doing this and paying it forward to yourself. Yeah. And yes. So the Om is like a little teaching point here. You can play around with Om. You can do Om and you can feel it up here. You can feel it here. You can feel it here in your nasal cavity. You feel it in your throat. You can move that thing around. And you also can spread it out over the whole central channel. So sometimes when you say Om, you feel it in your heart, which is, and by the way, I guess one day we will do this. You can, if you have more time and you rise and fall the light and you clear out the chakras, you also can do Om, Om, Om at the root chakra and then rise to the sacral chakra. Om, Om, Om. Again, moving the vibration to the root, to the sacral chakra, to the solar plexus chakra. Let's just do it. We'll do it 3 of each. I'm going to start with the root chakra. So take a nice inhale. I'm going to vibrate the root chakra 3 times, and we're going to keep going all the way up to the crown chakra. And I don't know how it sounds for you, but for me, the Om changes a little bit. The pitch of the Om changes a little bit because I have to throw it down to the root, and I have to keep moving the Om, so it changes a little bit in the root. Om. In the sacrum, the sacral chakra. Om, Om, Om. Solar plexus chakra. Om. I'm going to do one now for covering all three of the lower chakras. Om. The heart chakra. Om. 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 Now I'm going to move the vibration to the throat chakra. Om. 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 I'm going to vibrate the Ajna chakra, the third eye chakra. Om. Now move your inner sight to the crown chakra, half in your head, half outside. Om. 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 And now throw what the heck. Go up to your light chakra, 12, 15 inches above your head. Om. That is a really good energy activation, wake up. Really, that's if you do just the 12 rising and falling, and then if you have time, if you start to focus on each of the individual chakras, it's like you're taking like an electric toothbrush right to your sacral chakra. You're vibrating that one chakra. And you can obviously vibrate all of them. You can do it without vibration. There's all different ways to do it. So that's kind of the full meditation. There you have it. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. Beautiful. It's really, honestly, like, that's probably the healthiest thing you can do for yourself is to wake your energy body up. Because how many people actually pay attention to their energetic body? And there are always obstructions the way we live. We live under a lot of stress, a lot of tension in our muscles. The energy is blocked. It doesn't flow through our joints. It doesn't, and our own central channel chakras are not ever paid attention to. So this is a way to pay attention to the energy flow in your body. And as you understand, when energy is flowing in your body, that's the definition of health. That's life itself. Well, I'm glad I did this because I had a thought to just call it a day, go back to sleep. I've been napping and being miserable all day with this cold, but I'm glad we did this. I'm glad we got it in. And I'm glad we had the opportunity, and I'm glad you showed up for yourself too. That's important. And as more and more people start living this daily wavelength, as more and more people, there you go, as more and more people pay attention to this wavelength, doing the meditations, doing them on your own, do them here on Friday, do them on your own. Yeah, Great work. Way to show up for yourselves, man. Yeah, thank you for being here, Radu. Way to show up. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. I'm not going to just babble on for the next 20 minutes. I'm going to give myself a rest. I really appreciate everyone being here, appreciate the time you spent here. And let's just know the reason we do this. It's important to remember why you're meditating. It's important to remember that your meditation is something every day. It's important that this meditation be every day, that you build this habit. Remember why you're doing it. We do this on Friday because in case you got all jammed up and didn't do your meditations every day, we'll remind you again and again and again. If you need me to remind you, that's great. We'll be here. If not, you need to be doing these meditations. Get into this workflow every day. That remember why you're doing it. All right, everyone. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you all soon, and you all know how to communicate with me. I know some of you already are. I love it. And I'll talk with you guys soon. And we're going to get together again Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. Again, we'll do this on Substack. And then, we'll talk about Sunday night separately. All right, guys. Everyone take care. I'll see you guys soon. Enjoy the rest of your evening and enjoy this weekend. It just feels like the weekend's over, right? But enjoy this weekend and everyone be healthy and safe. Take care. We'll see you next time.